my name is Kunal Dubey and I lead the marketing team at Cleartrip, part of Flipkart Group. Today I'm here to talk about independent marketers or independence in marketing, as we may call it. I think the way I would like to start this narrative, the way I believe there are in any equation, right, there are dependent variables and there are independent variables, right, which is the cause and effect. Like for an example, just to elaborate this further, like if you have to put a bunch of people in a room and if you divide them between a hot temperature or a cold temperature, these are the independent variables. But if you give the whole room one common math test and to see how they perform, now that is a dependent variable which is depending upon the room temperature based how the scores comes up. So any researchers in the market, they use certain formulas and algorithms to find this out. I think marketing function is no different, right? It is a dependent variable for some things. It is the independent variable for a lot of things, right? Let me just explain. It is sounding a little more jargonish, right? I think marketing as a function is dependent on a lot of variables because I believe marketing is a storytelling function to begin with, right? And largely not the creator of a story, right? For example, a lot of stories that it comes to marketing, it can be a product that you're launching, or it can be a policy that you're launching. It can come from business team, the product teams, from any in the org what you want to launch. The job of marketing is how can you tell the story in the most nicest manner, which strikes the chord with the consumers in the right manner. So marketing is dependent on those variables for a lot of teams. On the other side, as an independent variable, what causes it, right? Marketing does a lot of, first a consumer researches from this perspective to understand the triggers and barriers. Marketing has to be sure in terms of the pitch to the market, for growth loop, to making a brand stand out in the market, have a differentiated positioning. That is what causes a lot of impact on most of the brands in the market. So yes, I believe there is no one answer that if, as a marketer, you can be an independent marketer or a dependent marketer. That's a different role that marketing always plays. How we look at this whole equation at Cleartrip, in our own mindset, I think we are a very strong challenger brand. And more than about the market share and what you do, I think challenger brand is a mindset. We truly operate like any other 0 to 1 or 1 to 10 startup. From the agility perspective, thinking perspective, boldness in our execution, thoughts from that perspective. So when you have to do that, right, when you have to be agile and you have to quick and be bold and innovate from that perspective, I think cross-functionally you have to come together very strongly and do that. So for marketing to operate at a complete 100% independence, I don't think that's a formula to success, right? Sometimes the storytelling can be powerful and you back with the story accordingly. But largely, I think the story has to be stronger, which is why you need a cross-functional collaboration to really come out and a winning formula from that perspective, right? If you look at the recent work in the last year we have done, the boldness in our approach, the boldness in our thinking, execution, I think we've been very, very happy at the stance that we have taken and how we're moving forward along with it. But when you're bold and when you are executing with finesse and flair, right, a lot of challenges also comes your way. And I truly believe challenges are opportunities. That's obviously a very, very normal saying that, right? But I truly believe when there are constraints, I will not call it as challenges, I'll say constraints. When there are constraints, that truly gives birth to innovations, right? For example, we know what's happening today in the market. Dollars are not free at all. Every dollar has to make it every penny count. When there is a constraint, and on the other side, before moving forward, right? So if the dollars have a constrained view right in the market, and when you have a leader within this category of OTAs who's sitting with a large chunk of cash on that other side also, do you want to compete dollar to dollar? Can you compete dollar to dollar? We don't even go in that conversation or directions, right? What we truly believe on our side, we know our constraints, in terms of the bandwidth that we have, in terms of the resources that we have and all of that, how do we make the most of it and still grow disproportionately from that perspective? And when you have to do that, when you accept the constraints and normal, I think that is where the true finish of the whole team comes together. And that's the journey. I and the entire team are loving it from that perspective. Also, this is also truly believe that, you know, when you have constraints like this in the market, when the team comes together, wholly in marketing, be it performance team, the PR team, the brand team, research team, when they all come together with one force, all these constraints has to go away. Because if you're truly independent in each function as well, right? While it may work for at a different stage of a company, but the stage that we are in right now today, I think it marries a lot importance for us that we go out there as a single force, brutal execution, and be a very, very strong